Ah, Media Day. It's the sign that basketball season is right around the corner. The first day of school in the NBA world, training camp is here, the preseason is shortly thereafter, and the NBA season is just right around the corner. And Media Day is great because we get to hear from the players, coaches, the front office on their expectations for this upcoming season, what they worked on in the offseason, but then, of course, there are always those surprising, sometimes bizarre, weird moments on Media Day. And no, I'm not talking about the players screaming in the background as the guys are conducting interviews. For whatever reason, that's become a common trend now. Even LeBron is doing it. But no, I'm talking about the strange interactions and comments between players and reporters across NBA Media Day. And there were 3 in particular that stood out to me. Be sure to subscribe, by the way, if you like the content. And of course, I'll be putting out more content throughout the season. Now, I'm going to start with the exchange Draymond Green had with this reporter on Media Day when the reporter was talking about how people are worried about Draymond. And the purpose of the question, which the reporter didn't explain why he was even making this statement, was, hey, they're worried about you because of your volatility in recent years that has gotten you suspended and missing games when the team needs you. And Draymond naturally took offense to this and let the guy know about it. Take a listen, and then we can discuss.
People worry about you. Fans, maybe your teammates.
Why they worry about me? I am a successful black man in America doing incredibly well. What's the worry
They
about
worry
me?
about you.
There are way more people in this world to worry about than me, that's for sure.
But we're here now. So
we're all here. I don't think you should worry about me.
Okay.
I'm doing pretty well. If you would have told me when I was 13 years old in Saginaw, Michigan, without a pot to piss in, that you'd be sitting here and somebody would say they're worried about you, I would have probably told them they were out of their mind. I'd be sitting here and they'd be worried about me.
Well, they're worried from themselves too. They want to know.
They don't feed.
They know the team needs you.
So why are they worried?
Because they know the team needs you.
But they don't feed
and they don't know if you're going to be here.
Doing this. I'm here. I've been here for 13 years now.
If you're going to be here every night.
Been here pretty much every night for 13 years.
Not so.
Very much so. We all have. Look, Kevon Looney played 82 games 2 years in a row, and everybody was celebrating. We all miss games.
No, what I'm talking about, they want to know if you're going to be here, like, mentally.
I'm always here. And suspensions, the guideline of getting suspended is something that's in place because it's a possibility. So
there's nothing changed in that respect.
I don't know what would change. Well, I don't get the question. I think my mindset has helped us do some great things. It's pretty cool. So it's all about how you spin it. I love how you try and spin it, but it ain't my spin to it, player.
Now, I'm not one to usually defend Draymond Green. I personally find Draymond's antics childish, immature, and the dirty plays we've seen from him throughout his career have no place in this league. And while I do think that Draymond could have handled this a bit better and not let the reporter get under his skin, the guy asking the question was in the wrong on this one. First of all, it's fine if you want to ask Draymond a question about the concerns around his behavior over the past season. Like, that is a legitimate concern when Draymond got suspended multiple times last year. One suspension, he was forced to go into therapy. It's a fair question if you're going to position it in a way of what he's done this offseason to help some of the anger he's been harboring and how he'll be approaching things differently going into this season. Because Draymond can't keep doing what he's been doing. He's going to find himself in longer and longer suspensions the more these antics keep up. But opening the questioning with a statement of, hey, people are worried about you. And then when Draymond says, there are way more people to be worrying about in this world than me, the reporter kind of condescending, well, we're here now, almost like he's trying to turn this into a therapy session for Draymond, and then going on to say, hey, are you going to be here? You haven't been here. Draymond says, I have been here. Yeah, but you're getting suspended a lot. Like, come on now. There's just a more tactful way of handling this questioning from a professional journalist. I mean, it should say something that he got the mic taken away from him when he kept pushing Draymond. Draymond could have handled it better and just said something like, next question, please, after he already answered it, instead of just trying to talk about how successful he's been and how his mentality has made this team do great things. Like, yeah, it has, but in the past. And now it's actually impacting the team negatively, and it's time he started taking some accountability for that instead of just deflecting. Then there was this exchange with Anthony Davis on JJ Redick being named the head coach, and that Rob Pelinka indicated that AD was heavily involved in the decision-making process of choosing Redick as the coach. And this was his response.
Rob mentioned a couple of months ago that you chose to be heavily involved in the coaching search, which led to JJ being hired. What stuck out to you about JJ? What did you know about him as a competitor? What have you learned about him in the past couple of months in the player-coach relationship now?
I mean, JJ played the game. He was able to. I didn't have many conversations with JJ actually. It was more just so with Rob, but Rob was telling me all these things about JJ, and obviously it was. I was giving my input on how I felt. Obviously, it's different by him being a first-time coach and head coach, so. That's a little different, but the principles that he was and the schemes that he wanted to bring into my organization just kind of stood out to me, and I kind of just relate that to Rob and let Rob kind of do his job from there.
So how involved in the decision-making process was he really? His pause after being asked kind of said a lot, in that he thought about, okay, how do I spin this to make it seem like I was involved in the process and had a big voice, and then was like, nah, I actually didn't talk to JJ. Rob handled that, and Rob told me all these great things that he was going to bring to the table. Even though, first-time coach, first-time head coach, makes you think, did AD really want JJ to be named the new head coach of this team? I'm probably reading too much into it, but just thought the exchange was a little awkward. But honestly, nothing tops this bizarre response from Scoot Henderson in literally his first question after taking the podium about looking back on his rookie season and what he learned from it. This is what he had to say.
All right. Scoot, now that you have a couple months of distance from it, kind of what do you look back on about your rookie season and kind of what you learned from it?
I look back at the good food that I had. Yeah, a lot of the food. And then, what I've learned from it.
Now, when I first saw someone post this to Twitter, I legitimately thought it was fake. I thought for sure this was another one of these AI-generated press conferences that look and sound incredibly real, but the response is so ridiculous that you can't possibly think this could be real. Bro looked like he was out of it, high out of his mind with the way he kind of looked up, smiled a bit, thinking about all the great food he had during his rookie season. And look, I have high hopes for Scoot Henderson. I think he's going to be a fine player. I think he has a lot of potential, but man really struggled in his rookie year, and everyone saw that. Yeah, he closed out the season decently well, which is a good sign of progress, but he was putting up some of the worst box plus minus in single games the NBA had ever seen in history. Again, he's young, still a lot of room to grow, but people were talking about him being a generational talent coming into the league, okay? And in his rookie year, he didn't look like he was ready. And the thing you can think about most on your time in your rookie season is the great food that you had. And then he just kind of smiles after the response and says, yeah. Man, if I was the reporter, I don't think I would have been able to control my laughter after that. Now, to be fair to Scoot, he did interview well thereafter with some actual basketball-related responses, but I really could not believe that was real when I first saw it. Something must be up important because DeAndre Ayton's interview was also a little strange, where he almost seemed a bit out of it as well. Man seemed super happy and energized for the start of the season, which is fine, but then he started talking about all the great food the chef has him on as well. That chef must be really damn good, man, if he's got the players talking about him on Media Day, I'll say that much. Anyway, those were the things, comments, exchanges on Media Day I could not believe actually happened. Media Day never disappoints, and now I'm looking forward to seeing everything that goes down during training camp. So let me know what were some of the things you guys took away from Media Day. Let me know in the comments. As always, be sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.